All right, ladies and gents, welcome back. This is the Lab podcast series. Appreciate everybody for listening, for tuning in. I know you guys listen like, wait a minute, where the hell am I? I'm actually right next door in Brickell. I actually got a few new friends of mine, like-minded people. So for people who do listen and watch this podcast, pretty much about every so often, I like to bring in like-minded people to bring in as far as like their different crafts, their different types of unique skills and trades, and just have conversations like round table talk. So I would like to start in my right, Mr. Rob. What's going on, man? So pretty much, I want to go around the room right now to say your first name, your last name, where you guys are in, your trade, a little bit about yourself. So, Mr. Rochester, let's do it.
I am Rob Spano from New York. I am the founder of Brand Connect Incorporated, digital marketing agency, social media agency based here in Miami. We help people brand their companies.
Nice. Serge, what up, man?
What up, man? Happy to be here. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having me.
Thank you for allowing me to be in y'all space, man. This is dope.
Always a pleasure. All right, so I'm Sergio, last name Nieto. I'm a partner at Brand Connect. Like Rob said, we're out here helping companies brand, grow their digital footprint on social media. It's been a wild ride so far. Really enjoying it. Learned a lot and been in startups for many years. So applying all the knowledge we've accumulated in our past companies that we've worked with and worked on, and kind of bringing that to Brickell. So I'm from New York as well. Excited to be here. And to my left.
Let's go, man.
Here we go. No, I was waiting for the beer joke. I was already waiting for it. I thought he was going to kick us off with a beer joke. So, anyway, name's Caulen Foster. President of Almond Pro Foods. We created the world's first almond protein powder. And I also do digital marketing and e-commerce consulting. I just entered the insurance space, generating leads across different verticals. So using a lot of social media marketing and different digital metrics to kind of learn and expand our presence online with that lead gen. So that's been good. And yeah, I've been over the course of the last 2 years, I've just really been heavily involved in e-commerce. E-commerce, not just from the consumer goods standpoint, but basically, email marketing, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. How did y'all meet each other?
Mutual friend.
Yeah. So it's actually a funny story. We have a good group of guys down here. We have a great group of guys down here.
Nice.
And a lot of us hail from different areas, but the one thing that kind of always brought us together was everyone's a hustler.
Mm-hmm.
And I first met Caulen through a mutual friend. He actually was not my first client, but he came on board as a client of Brand Connect, and we got to hanging out and kind of hit it off and became friends from there. That was going on almost 3 years now, by the way, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long, wild ride.
Yeah, his mutual friend was actually looking to buy the condo I was living in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And she linked us up.
Yeah.
And then we just started talking from there.
And then obviously me and Sergio, we go way back. I think I told you, we grew up together, literally down the street.
I came here.
So he was up in New York, and I had come down to Miami on a previous venture, and I saw an opportunity to really break out and do my own thing with Sergio coming on board to help me make it, bigger than what it was and bigger than what it is. And he, did the same thing kind of as I did originally, took the risk, moved down to Miami and threw himself all in. And, now we are where we are.
So what do you think it takes to be successful in Miami? I mean, there's pretty much a reason why you moved down here. There's a reason why you pretty much guys has connected pretty much. So what do you think it takes to be successful in this city? In a city where everybody thinks you cannot be successful.
See, I think that we all have a different perspective there.
Yeah.
So,
all right, go ahead, man. This is why we're here, man. This is the lab.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
do it.
We're from New York, so I mean, we like to think we're cut from a different cloth, right? But I've had many startups in New York, hustled at the highest levels over there, and in order to be successful there, you take that mentality and you come down here. Honestly, you can be successful. You got to meet the right people. You got to know where your industry is located. Miami is different than New York. It's very nightlife oriented. You go out, the restaurants, hospitality, getting in those crowds and not being afraid to make a name for yourself. introducing yourself to people. I mean, we joke about this all the time. Like, if you make eye contact with me, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And with a mentality like that, you meet enough people here, people have their guard down.
It's very scary for like certain Miamians.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, what are you looking at me for? Like,
Yeah. But I mean, I'm being real when I say if you go ahead and put yourself out there, people are more receptive here than in other markets. And I've seen it. I've done it.
Their guards are down. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
In New York, to get to a high-level executive, you can do it, but you have to go through a lot more loopholes, and you gotta, get through the gatekeepers and whatnot. In Miami, it's more, because it's a more relaxed lifestyle. Everyone's a little laid back here. It's also a city that a lot of people come in and out of. You don't really have a lot of people that are, born and bred in Miami who stay in Miami and go into big business. It's guys that come from New York, Chicago, a lot of international crowd. So, when I first got down to Miami, I had an opportunity with a gentleman in South Beach who gave me a big contract for a hospitality deal. And he said something that stuck with me the entire time, or stuck with me, is if you come down to Miami and you know how to party without actually partying, you'll get a long way. And what I took from that and kind of the conversation that we had is, like Sergio said, Miami's very much a nightlife-oriented city. A lot of the influence goes in and out through nightlife, Funny enough, they talk about the Jeff Bezos thing and his divorce, and they throw up a picture of him at Live. So it's like, it's very much in...
It's funny how you bring that up, because that's actually a later topic.
Yeah,
but okay.
and it's like, it's very much in the scene type thing. So, like Sergio said, being out there and being social in Miami gets you a long way, because that guy that you meet, walking down the street in Brickell might own a company, or the guy that you go out and you party with one night, he might be an influencer who's, has pull in a certain industry or demographic that you want to connect with. So I think, a combination of being out there and being social, and that's how you really get far, in my opinion.
I think I've got a pretty unique perspective, because I'm the one from
You're the one
Miami.
from here.
I'm literally
definitely.
from. I grew
You're
up
tired
here.
of this shit.
Yeah, I hate
out.
this place. No, honestly, it's a great place to be. But I think what you guys are saying is true. I think that with this being such a transient community and everybody's basically trying to get in, in some form or fashion, something that they're doing, I think what really is valuable here is vetting the people that you invest your time in, because there's a lot of people who will talk about all the things they're doing, but they're not really doing much. I hate to say it, because everybody's got to hustle, everybody's trying to do something that they aspire to, but in the big scheme of things, there's a big difference between people with aspirations and people who have commitments and who are consistently trying to produce, going through the ups and downs, really not just living this, I don't want to say facade, but kind of like
superficial life.
Yeah, it's very superficial. I think that the most important thing you do is, if you want to be successful, not just, I guess this is pertinent to anywhere that you're going to be, but in Miami specifically, because like I said, it's such a transient community, such a diverse group of people around here, you have to really you have to have your guard up in a place where everybody has their guard down. That's why when all of you guys are saying, your guard's down and stuff. I've talked to Sergio a bunch of times about like networking, and I'm very cautious about who I network with.
Yeah,
because my network is who I bring around the people that I associate with. So if I refer somebody to Rob, I know that when I give that recommendation, that the person I'm giving is reliable, they're consistent, and they're doing what they say they're doing. So if you want to be successful in any endeavor, whether it's in Miami, I think, or in LA, I think the principle is universal. But I think here especially, you got to really, really look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with from a very objective perspective. You can't just take everybody at face value, because you will lose very quickly, because everybody's got the next $1 million idea.
Yeah,
everybody's got the next apparel company. Everybody's got the next app. Everybody's got something that they're doing, but are they really doing it though? I think that's really important.
You look at mine and Caulen's relationship as a perfect example. We met in Miami 3 years ago, or going on 3 years ago. We didn't do business at first. We kind of just, talked to each other, got to know each other a little bit. And then just by, mutual relationships and having mutual interests and mindset, we became friends. And then we decided to go into business, and again, he was one of the clients for Brand Connect. So it's like that same dynamic is, you come into Miami and you might meet 1,000 people, but the people that you actually stick around and the people that you actually build business with are very few. So it's like, it's a good place to meet people and to get those introductions. But like you said, the whole vetting process down here and making sure you're going to business with the right people is just as important.
I think because Miami is like perceived as such a materialistic city where people are very, very sensitive and very, very, I guess, well, maybe, I guess, insensitive to people who are pretty much not real. So at the end of the day, for me, especially for a person who's come from, Long Island, your reputation always succeeds, precedes yourself. And Robert Greene always says is like, hey, listen, you got to protect your reputation with your life. And if your reputation is actually a person who is like take is like listen, Miami is a very big city. It's a very small city.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like, if you do
100%.
bad business and if you actually do it pretty much for the wrong reasons,
100%.
shit is going to get out. That, yo, listen, don't fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, don't even mess with that guy because you know what? He's going to be pretty much bad for you.
Absolutely.
And what I was also going to get into too is just a genuine, approach to people to actually get to know them first rather than just going straight into business, because everybody is like trying to do like an elevator pitch. Everybody's like, hey, listen, I got this for you, I got that for you. But like, I think what Gary Vee says, jab, 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 right hook. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's right hooking up in here, in the city, but they're not too worried about like, hey, what can I actually genuinely do for you? Like, for instance, like me, I guess the only reason why I'm actually in this vicinity right now is because I actually genuinely want to become your friends. Like, I don't need anything from you guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like, I didn't come in here and like, that hour and a half conversation that we had last week Monday and be like, hey, Rob, hey, Sergio, I got this idea for you, this and that, and I can make you a lot of money. Like, no, like I want to see like what makes you tick. I want to see like what makes you pretty much, what excites you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your values, what's your morals? And we talked about a lot of stuff, which I wish we would have recorded.
Yeah.
Dope.
We always say that.
I mean, we should have been recording when we first started talking today.
We're always talking.
We were going in today. We got political and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's and it's like, I think I could speak for all of us when I say like, we appreciate that, because coming from that angle, right, of not only, working with people or want to be with people because they can offer you X or Y, right? What we've at least tried to always do with are just everyone that we surround ourselves with, all the entrepreneurs that we work with and the guys that, we surround ourselves with, is that we generally like being around each other. We hang out and we have fun, but it just happens to be that, he does e-commerce and digital marketing. He works with, with myself and doing social media marketing, digital marketing. My buddy Lev does Amazon. One of our friends, Eric, is successful in entrepreneurship and digital marketing. So it's like everyone has their little trait, but we genuinely like hanging out with each other. We go to the gym together.
Right. Yeah. I think it's kind of funny because like when we went we went downstairs for my birthday in November, and we're sitting there having drinks. Mind you, me and my business partner Mike, we've got our laptops out, while we're in the middle. Literally, we're literally working as we're at.
Does not stop, man.
We're literally working on some really important stuff, some really high level stuff in the middle of like having a couple drinks and getting a little bit of talking here and there when we can. But the irony is by 11 o'clock at night, all of us are back up here and everybody in this fucking place is working. Like, it's not just me. Like, now everybody might have laid off for that time being. Yeah. When we came upstairs, we were here till 2 a.m. Everybody was doing their own shit.
That was a Friday.
We're just hanging out. It's Friday. This is Friday night.
Friday night.
And that's kind of where, like, that's the type of, like, environment that I associate with. Like, I don't, like, we all stay down there. We're going to enjoy my birthday. We're going to, say a couple things, have a good time. But then when we come back up, everybody's just chilling, doing their thing, talking. We might, light it up in here a little bit, joking around with each other and stuff, you know. But, just busting each other's chops. But for the most part, everybody's doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah, and I think everyone's touching on an interesting point, too, because, right, I came from New York City, right? And, recently. And I had my social, I guess, woes about Miami and the people down here and the facade. So I had my guard up, and Rob knows this. And I spent a week here kind of feeling it out and meeting people. And I was kind of like, all right, maybe it's not exactly what I think, right? And now being down here for 3.5, 4 months, I am absolutely shocked by the amount of hustling entrepreneurs down here. And more so good people, right? I have a good person clause in my life.
That's actually kind of good segue. Let's talk into that. So talk about your experience, basically, like your misconception of Miami, because it's like you feel like both of the mentalities of both cities, like where you're from and where you're living, should be switched, should be flipped, but it's not. So dive into that.
So I've been coming down to Miami for years, and I've spent winters down here for a while. So I had a network down here, but that network was the vacation mode. That network was, I'm going to come down here, hang out. It's the rented Lamborghinis. It's the girls that want to know how big your yacht is. They don't even use the word boat anymore. It's that, you know.
Okay.
So it's like when I was coming down here, I was telling Rob, like, I'm getting my head right to know that, I'm single now. I'm probably not going to be meeting the most quality women. Right. If I'm being honest. And
straight up, now that you just said that on a podcast,
yeah, right.
it's going out. You definitely not
we know who the number one bachelor in Miami isn't. We know he's not gonna be number one bachelor anytime soon.
This is the last time a girl talked to Sergio in Miami now.
Hey, I'm
shot himself in the foot.
Keeping it real, and I think
I feel you, of course.
No, he's looking for a wife.
Well, okay, well, good luck, pal.
No,
stick a Whole Foods.
That's so funny. That was good. So,
who's the one without the
Can I
beard?
get that? Can I get that
Who's
inside
the one
joke
without the
after?
beard?
Can I get that inside joke after?
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I appreciate it.
100%. So with all that, and then the same thing with the guys. Whose credit cards are maxed out, who's doing this, who's doing that. Caulen touched on a lot of that. Who's actually doing it and being successful, right? Because I know a lot of people down here that just aren't. But when I moved down here, there's a different scene between the coming down here for a few weeks or a month at a time, or the people who are working day to day. And that entrepreneurial scene. Like, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I'm willing to bet that this is the fastest growing entrepreneurial city in the country. I actually put some money on that.
It's definitely top 5
and
or
honestly,
top 3.
I think what Sergio is saying even goes as far as just regionally within Miami where you are.
Yeah.
Like even
Brickell's great.
The separation between being in Brickell and downtown or being in South Beach is completely different.
Well, this area is the hub. I mean, if you go to South Florida, like where I grew up, this is like a different planet. Like if you go out to the suburbs, 30 minutes south, you're in a
you go 40 minutes north, it's completely different than the hustle 100%. That is down here.
So maybe like a per capita in Brickell per entrepreneur over the last like 3 or 4 years is definitely exploding.
And honestly, social media, it's got its its positives and its negatives. I mean, like anything else, but social media, one thing is that it connects people, right? So a lot of our connections that we made with the guys that we met down here, again, I've only been here for 3 years. I was I was in a business partnership with a few other guys, but it was never like I had like a big network of hustlers, right? Until really recent, to be honest. And this group is like, one person DMs one person is like, hey, what's going on? Like, love to meet up. Like you met us and you wanted to come over and just, chop it up and, have casual conversation about life, about business. But that's how those connections work. And then in business, we just, instead of going outside of our circle to have someone take care of a certain task or responsibility, we keep it within us. And then, like you said, we hustle on Friday nights. And that's a dynamic you really can't, even in New York, you can't find that.
Yeah.
People are not willing to hustle like I would think, our like-minded people do.
And also, too, do you think that there's a problem, or I guess a little issue with everybody who is, well, I guess it's like a question for you, too, since you guys are from New York. Have you ever been to New York?
Yeah, I love New York.
Okay, yeah, New York is great. But, like, what is the problem, like, with New York as far as, like, just, like, people who are so just like, oh no, you can't talk to me, or like you have to go through like 4, 5, 6, 7
I would like to
different
take this one.
emails.
If you don't mind.
Like, okay, now listen, you see where I'm going with this, right, Serge? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, what is the problem with that versus in Miami, where you can literally meet David Grutman on Lincoln Road and just talk to him.
Yeah.
And then like he'll actually would love to talk to you and just hear you out.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Grutman, by the way. But
Great
yeah,
guy.
like what
Killing the game.
Killing it.
Can you answer that for me? Like I don't know.
Give Rob first crack.
I was gonna say I would
okay.
I would actually love to hear Sergio's point of view as well, because he does come from a similar mindset, but also after you hear kind of like where my feelings are, he'll have a good input onto kind of the other side of it.
Sure, let's do it.
New York is very much about, in my opinion, it's about titles, right? It's about who you are. You ask somebody, what do you do in New York? And it's this like long, elaborate, thing where they, even if they are like everybody else, there's another million people in the city like them, they try to make it bigger than what it is. And then the real big up guys is like they have that same mentality. It's like, no, you can't talk to me. You have to talk to my assistant's assistant. We'll get you to my assistant, and then we'll think about scheduling a meeting. It's that very, in my opinion, it's a very corporate mindset. Okay. Right? It's that corporate mentality where it's just like structure. You have to get through the gates to get to the head honchos, right? In Miami, besides the fact that there's, I think, in my opinion, per capita, right? Like Sergio said, more entrepreneurs and people who have a type of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Miami's a very attractive city to come to. So you have people from other cities who are down here because they see an opportunity or they see a reason to be in Miami. They, you know, in my opinion, a lot of guys that, you know, we meet and that do serious business, they're not here because they like the sunshine. They're here because they like the sunshine and they see business opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
You know, so for me, it's like down here, I think guys are more open to conversation because, you know, one, it's, you know, they're in and out of the city.
Weather could actually play a big part of it too.
Yeah,
like
it's
weather.
It's mood. It's mood. Yeah. You know, if you're in New York City and you're dressed in a, you know, you're
it's
in New
4 o'clock
York
in the afternoon. It's dark outside.
Shirt and tie. Yeah. Like I used to work corporate. I used to work corporate America. I'd have to wear a shirt and tie every day. Have a clean shaven face. I'm walking through wind tunnels in the financial district. Sergio knows it's fucking negative 10 degrees and I'm, you know, bundled up and I'm still freezing. Get into my office to sit in the cubicle for 10 hours just to leave and go do the same thing tomorrow. In Miami, it's completely different where today you can be working from the one hotel. You know, tomorrow you can be on a boat. You know, you can go fishing this afternoon if you really want.
Yeah.
You know, you can do things that you can't normally do in Manhattan or Chicago or really anywhere else in the country.
Even if you want to work from a cafe, you can work at a cafe on the water.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
it's just a nicer, you know, environment to be in. So right away, it puts you in a better mood. I wake up and I'm in a better mood than when I wake up in Manhattan and it's gray and it's dark.
True. Okay.
Yeah, and
unload Serge.
No, I mean, he touched on a lot of it. Honestly, it's like New York is like the corporate, bigger, older brother. Like anyone who's successful there probably had to do more dirt than the guys that had to do it here. You had to jump through hoops. You had to please people, you know, and everyone's, you know, it's more formal up there. It's less about, you know, flashing what kind of car you drive and stuff like that. Believe it or not, it really is.
That's why I love New York.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I love about New York.
Yeah, but if I worked in New York, I couldn't have this beard, and that bothers me.
It's actually hilarious.
It bothers me that you wouldn't be able to work with that beard without the fucking beard.
I would not be allowed.
There's so many things that are different about New York and Miami. Like, we've talked about it. Like, I am very much of, like, I don't care what you think about me. Like, I am who I am. I have my money. That is what it is. But in Miami, it's like, you have to have Yeezys. You have to have Balenciagas. You have to have the pants. You have to have this.
Mind you, the guy from Miami is I literally don't wear any brands. Yeah, that's the joke that you make about me. I don't wear any. I don't wear any brands.
And for the record, Sergio and I are actually wearing Yeezys.
Yeah. Right.
Why he made that point?
Mind you, that's literally the only brand that I do wear are probably shoes and watches. But like my shirts and my
sweaters,
the guy that's
from
no
Miami is literally wearing no brands.
Well, he's technically an unlocked character in a video game.
Yeah.
2K.
Yeah. I'm like the shadow, the outlining of the figure.
But yeah, it's an interesting difference.
But the point is, like, I get it, but like you have to cater to your audience to a certain extent. And like I'm pretty stubborn, but like even if I'm doing it, it works. You do it, you know. And people, they had their guard down here, and I think like you guys touched on it. They're happier, you know. They're willing to talk to you. People like to have fun here, you know. Oh, you met someone great. You have a boat. You want to go out. You want to go fishing. Those conversations are not happening in New York. You like someone, you met them. Maybe you got their guard down a little bit. It's like, all right, let's go grab a drink. Like that's your outlet.
Okay.
It's not like, hey, let's go ball. You know, I met Adam. Adam's from Hungary, owns a gym over there. He's new to the area. Immediately we hit it off. And I'm like, you know, come meet the guys, whatever. Now I find out he balls. Great. We're probably going to ball in the next week. We have a freaking gym in a building. Again,
a basketball gym.
A basketball gym, a CrossFit gym.
What?
Dude,
yeah, it's legit. It's actually,
we're training like professional athletes right now. It's insane. Like 2 times a day. Thank God all of our clients have protein.
Facts, though.
It's a good look. I didn't think about that.
As I'm stretching because of yesterday's game, I'm like, oh, my knee's killing me.
Did you guys play yesterday?
Yeah.
Huh? You guys played yesterday?
He did.
No, I had a game yesterday. We got the W.
Who won?
I had a triple-double. It's all good.
Oh, yeah?
Bro,
what were the stats?
Savagery that it
I don't know.
occurs
Like
with this round of basketball.
20, and 20.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's 5'5" besides him. So.
Yeah. Right.
No, there's some tall guys, but everyone's like, you know, there's a few guys that are a little bit taller, but they're like 45.
I would actually wonder how it is to be tall.
You know, the older guys are the taller guys are a little bit older. So it's like
that flew under the radar real quick.
I got my youth a little bit.
We're all having our own conversations right
But
now.
listen, okay, so got a question. The importance of staying in your lane within your circle.
Rob loves this.
Oh my God, I love this.
Because I do hear, obviously, a bunch of people in one circle that is pretty much great that do have different, you know, skill sets, but they can maybe go in the same lane, but how paramount is it basically to make sure that you don't step on anybody's shoes, figuratively and literally. You don't just get into anybody's ways, and you pretty much always see the bigger picture. The
Probably
importance of it.
Make sure that anybody who needs to get paid needs to get paid.
Well, yeah, or just not slighting your own circle.
Yeah,
and just believing in your circles and believing within yourself.
Rob preaches this, and I couldn't agree with him more. I would say it took me a little bit of time to kind of like buy into it, if I'm being honest. We're all stupid talented. We can all do, a ton of different things. But if you want to make money, that's fine. You want to make a lot of money and you want to scale, stay in your lane. It's that simple. If I can sell and I'm good at meeting people, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's do your job. I use that. That's kind of like what we do, like for the lead gen. We have a bunch of partners and everybody's got their role. Everybody is designed to do a very, very specific task. And our rule is do your job. That's what they say in the Patriots organization.
I was just going to say, I'm a Giants fan, but Belichick,
do your job.
You got to do your job. I mean,
we've got people that do, our heavy digital marketing. We've got people who go and they do sales and they get capital for us. We've got people that do all different types of tasks, and you have to make sure that everybody is being held to very transparent responsibility. And I think the same goes like if we're referring basically to like your circle and making sure that you don't create friction amongst your circle. Is that kind of where we're going with this?
Exactly.
So I think that's always, for me, I think a good example would be like our friend Ron that we all know, right? So I told him that I was looking to possibly get into photography. Now he does photography, right? But what I did was I feel like one of the ways that you can make that more of a
collaboration.
A collaboration, rather.
Okay,
right,
yeah,
exactly. Like a collaboration is, I offered him, when we spoke about it, I said, hey, would you mind doing some consulting for me? I'll pay you, hourly. And in turn, you can go ahead and you can give me some of your knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you can't just expect people to do shit for free. Like, we all are busy. You know what I mean? And if I'm kind of not only not infringing on his space, but I'm trying to learn about his space, and I'm trying to learn into something that he's directly doing, so I can benefit my own brand. I'm not gonna. My intentions are not to hire him,
of course,
to do my photography, because I'm trying to do it on my own, and outsource it to people in house. But if I'm gonna ask him for that favor, I'm gonna compensate him for it.
Of course.
And I think that's a way to kind of at least
one hand washes the other at the end.
And
of the
that's
day.
also
100%.
So,
and if he helps me, I'm gonna be more inclined to maybe go back around and say, hey, Ron, do me a favor. You want to work together? You want to collaborate? I reached out to him to collaborate the other day,
nice.
and I want to bring him on board, to do some work for me. But he was really cool about saying, "Hey, I'm definitely up for like doing some consulting and helping you out."
Yeah, didn't know you were in photo and video. If you need anything, let me know too. I got you.
It's funny too, because Caulen's actually somebody that like Sergio said, I've tried to instill this. I believe in it wholeheartedly. It's what I stand by. Is everyone stay in your lane, and it's for a couple of reasons, right? It's like when me and Caulen first started working together, he wanted to do the content side of it, and he wanted to do the influencer side of it, and he wanted to do, obviously with the social media, and he wanted to get, the Facebook ads going. He wanted to do the digital marketing part. I'm like, bro, like you're busy as you are already. Like, you don't need to add any more onto your plate. So when you do that, you spread yourself too thin. You might do all 5 or 10 tasks well or okay, decent, but if everyone who you've tasked to do that one task, that's their trait, they're going to do that the best of their ability. And now if that person's in your circle, now everyone's eating and you're getting the best quality product. So it's like you literally are feeding your boys so that we can all make money together, right?
Because doing the right thing is always the right thing.
Yeah, and there's a saying, it's like it's a lot more fun to eat at a table together than it is to eat alone, So if I'm able to provide guys in my circle with gigs, with any type of value from my clients, or if I need it, I'd rather just give you that responsibility. I don't want to shoot content. I'm not a photographer or a videographer. Why would I pick up a camera? I want the best quality content though, so I'm gonna go to the best photographer I know.
Got you.
So, and internally with me and Sergio, when we first started up, our partnership, it was, what do each one of us do? He's got a ton of skills, I got a ton of skills, but we both have limited time, and we need to get the best out of what we're doing. And a conversation that we still have, he has a passion for photography. He always has, and he's been doing it very well for a very long time, or however many years he's been shooting, right?
Nice.
But the potential that I see and the potential that he knows, that, which is the reason, honestly, why he's a business partner, right, is because he can do everything else outside of that. Like the sales part of it, the structural part of it, the operations, getting things, in order as a company, as a corporation. So it's like when it comes to content, even having someone in-house that can shoot with, for us, I'd rather give it to another photographer outside of our or inside of our circle. But because, well, again, that's their gig. Let's give the money to that guy to pay him to do his job, the best of possibilities. And then we can focus on getting that content rolled out, the strategy behind it, who to target, and all the back end stuff.
So I think one of the ways that I definitely combat that, to not to just do everything under the sun, especially for people who I know they are actually great at that craft, is, so I'll give you an example. So one of the other things I do business consulting, I do social media management. So if you and I, we were pretty much, we're like really boys, we're like best friends basically, right? And I do social media management, but here's the thing. You got to know when to push and when to pull. You got to know when to like step up and when to pretty much back off. So if a person hits me up on Instagram and say, hey, listen, I need a consultation on social media to see how I can, make sure that my grid is good and like my pictures is like, everything's like working as far as engagement. Okay, cool. I can definitely help you. Then if that same person's like, hey, I want to do SEO, I want to do Facebook ads. Yeah. I'm going to be a piece of shit. Be like, yeah, I got you too. Here, no, that's when I introduce you. Yeah. So people need to like understand.
See, sadly, that's a notion that I've seen, in previous, business partnerships and things that I've seen out there is, somebody tries to be everything, and then what happens is that they drop the ball, and now, your reputation's on the line. I worked with guys, again, it's a situation where if you want to do everything, you can't effectively scale, and you're not going to make a lot of money. You're just not. But if you have a systematic approach to it, where it's a turnkey solution, where you have your content guy giving you content, and then you're doing the strategy part, and then you're someone doing the ads, then it's like everyone worries about their own thing. You're not spread too thin. Now you can go to another client to do the same thing, and then again outsource it appropriately to your crew or your network, so that again you have another client, and now it's an effective solution.
This is actually kind of like a really good segue to the next topic. Seek respect, not attention.
Oh, I love it.
Oh boy. All right, Rob.
That was on my last post.
See, look, he's ready to go.
That was on my last post.
Yeah, that was your last post. And I was definitely thinking of like, different topics to go on and see what we can talk about. And that just stood out to me because a lot of people are just too worried about, as we were talking about, Collins, the clickbait, too worried about.
Right. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this first.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that
this dude doesn't even wear brands.
Listen, I think that, there's nothing wrong. In all reality, it's I think it's human nature to want attention for certain things. I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think it's what people are trying to get the attention for. For me personally, he brought up the point that I don't really wear brands. I mean, I'll throw on a brand here and there, but it's not like I'm pretty much in a plain white t-shirt and, a pair of jeans and chilled shoes every day. It's because, I really, my value comes from personally is the attention that I want is for what my accomplishments are, where my future is going. I have kids, so I always want my kids to, kind of see where their dad, went, where his journey went. I don't want my journey to be defined by material things. I want it to be defined by actions. And I personally think that that's really where a lot of people are missing the mark here with like entrepreneurship. Like we're in like this like surge of popularity in entrepreneurship. I've been doing this for a long time, failing a lot more than I've succeeded.
We'll see how everybody is in about maybe a year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think we're kind of coming at the declines because I think people who got the pop, who hit the pop like 2 years ago, I've been doing this for a long time. Nice. So, people who got the pop, they got the initial motivation to do what they want to do. That eventually everything is I don't want to say everything is going to fall off, but a lot of people are going to see that it's not as easy as they think, that you really have to devote yourself.
The cream is pretty much going to rise to the top of that.
100%. Exactly.
Yeah, and then you realize that entrepreneurship.
It's tough. It's highest highs and lowest lows. Yeah. And I think that what happens is like, when people get caught up in the facade of what they think the attention that they're getting from these material things is not relevant. It doesn't hold any substance. It doesn't hold any substance for what you're creating for yourself. You can only create so much. And social media is like the gift and the curse of that, because by human nature, people want to share their accomplishments. It's not just material things. Parents share their kids, honor roll, or, somebody's going to post that their kid just won their sports game, or, or you're going to want to, advertise it and share that you got your new car that you've been dreaming about. That's just human nature. And like people who demonize it, I'd really disagree, because I think that just by our primal beings, we like to share things with other people. We're connected. We all are. It's in our nature at this point.
Gotcha.
So I honestly think that it's finding what you want the attention for, and letting it gravitate towards somewhere positive and something that's genuine, rather than like material based, action based. What are you doing that's like really moving your brand forward? Show that you got a big contract, but don't show the material side of it. Show the hard work side of it. There's nothing wrong with showing. You're right. The story, the Instagram story is one of the most amazing things ever. If you want to show people what it's like to hustle and what it's like to fail. Like, I try and be active on social media. I don't promote my brand on my personal social media on purpose.
Okay.
Because I just want people to see what I'm doing. I don't always, I don't do selfie stories or anything like that. But I'm up at 6:15, 6 in the morning. I want people to see that I want people to be on my journey with me, because these are people who are following me. Yeah. But I don't post when I have a couple nice things. You'll never see me really posting flashy shit. I'm not into that.
I think there's actually a fine line between just showing your process, as far as like just being a beacon, and just being like, like a representative of people,
right?
And like really seeking attention, as far as like, oh, this is me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I think so Rob, I know you're itching to chime in on this.
I love what Caulen was saying. I mean, it makes sense and it's good, but the sad part of the fact is that most people want attention for the wrong reasons. It's like that insta-famous effect. Everyone wants to be famous, but they don't put in the work, or I don't even know why you want to be famous, first of all, in the first place. Like my intentions in life is to be, a successful entrepreneur and have these brands that I've created. But honestly, I'd much rather if no one knew me. I can go to a store, no one knows who you are, and you look at these celebrities and you look at these, big influencers, and they want attention, and it's cool. If that's your thing, by all means, do your thing. If you're monetizing it and you're doing it for the right reasons, cool. But, for me, it's always been more about being on the back end, being behind the scenes and building and just doing what what you set out to do. For me, the only thing that I need is the respect of, I created a successful brand. It's impacted however many people. It's helped however many people.
Very true.
So it's a different dynamic, but I wish everyone had good intentions,
Which is not really pretty much the case.
So and it's really interesting. We talk about this all the time. Your social, what you're putting out there, and like I have a glass ceiling on my social. He's conquered his before I have, in the sense that like we both come from very humble backgrounds. Our parents, we've known each other for 20 years. We've been best friends forever.
Nice.
But our parents, raised us that way. They raised us to be humble, not to be flashy. You win a game, you hand the ball back to the ref or the ump or whatever. You hit a home run, you put your head down. Like that's how we grew up. And he's taken the leap on social to show the process, to show the behind the scenes. Me personally, like I need to get there, right? But it's not in my MO. Like it's just not who I am. Like I am extra private with shit.
Yeah.
And I rather be impactful on a one-to-one basis than on a mass basis, because just to me it's a little impersonal. But again, those are things that I'm trying to get over, right? Because for social and for branding purposes, it's kind of necessary, and like he's doing a great job with it.
It's actually funny he says that, because I made it one of my personal goals, and I'm instilling it in him too, and being like, you need to, cross that threshold of just now being more, not vocal, but being more present as a personality on social media.
Here, right?
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
This
so
is one of the steps.
It's funny. This is a big step for me, because I've gone through a lot of really low lows, and I've gone through really high highs.
Okay.
But no one will ever know. Yeah. And it's just because I haven't shared it. I didn't feel comfortable sharing it at first, But, coming towards the end of 2018 and having him down here and having my network that I've created, I feel more comfortable, and I feel like I have support. That it's just like, all right, you know what? Open up for 2019. Let's go. Like, there's no more holding back.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck up. 100% you're gonna fuck up.
That's the best part.
I fuck up every day.
It's just like it's just like we spoke about, like selfie videos.
Yeah.
Like how many times you want to sit there and take a selfie video of you talking about something?
Yeah, it's not.
You're walking down the street. It's an awkward thing looking at someone watching take a selfie video.
Like that whole entire mentality, that whole entire just like talking to something that's like not even there.
Yeah, I envy
It's kinda
people like that, you know?
That can
'Cause-
do it.
I mean, I could do it
Yeah.
all day, but sometimes I look at it, I'm like, yo, like that's kind of creepy. That's kind of
Totally
like
is.
next level,
Yeah.
like
Narcissism.
yes, thank you. That was the word I was freaking looking for. So.
But you know what? It's like I envy people like that because,
Yeah.
you know, those people are not afraid to put themselves out there and then they get opportunities because of it,
Yeah,
whether it's
exactly.
good or whether it's bad.
True,
They're getting
true.
opportunities.
Yeah, engagement is engagement.
You know, and
just-
like I look at what we've done, and the three of us have not been like that on social, right? Like our social media profiles in the past have been far from being, you know, social
So
and really being
impersonal.
present. It's been
Dude,
very
I
impersonal.
asked somebody what they thought I did for a living based on my social. They said I was a trust fund travel baby.
I mean,
Yo.
that's
We're in Miami.
hilarious. Yeah, you only get that answer down here, though.
I almost immediately changed my social because, like, I do a lot of shit. I've done a lot of stuff in my life. I have a ton of experience. So I was like, all right, at a minimum, people need to know I'm not a trust
Yeah,
fund
we
baby.
we were at a point with Serge where we actually were kind of struggling for like, you know, a couple of weeks as to whether he should rebrand a whole nother page
Yeah.
and then use what he currently has. You know, so it's like even things like that of how to brand yourself to now be that more of a personable, you know, social person on social media is very difficult. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, because once you created an audience, that audience is following you because of your content. His was travel photography. He's got some of the most dope travel photography I've ever seen.
I've seen it. Yeah.
You know, but if
And that's just a passion. That's me being mad private. I'm not.
yeah,
any
but
of my
no one knows
pictures.
what he does.
I appreciated what this looked like. And even then, I didn't even really love rolling it out because I'll roll out a reflection picture. Someone will look at it for 2 seconds and they're gone. They don't even see half the stuff that's going on. Or maybe there was a message in there that I was trying to convey that was a little too deep for the person. But now, you know, we've talked about
And
it.
it's funny because he's far more social than I am actually
Yeah.
in real life.
Rob is the least social media manager you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, there's a ton of facets to it. And I think that, you know, everyone has their ceilings and everyone has what they're good at. And I commend Rob for taking, you know, the camera and putting it in his day to day and showing the process. I mean, so many times, dude, it's so funny, man. You know, we're working 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and you forget to text people back. You forget to call people.
Yeah.
And they literally think you're out partying. And it's like, dude, I worked 110 hours this week. You can't even figure out how to work that many hours.
I could take pride in saying that none of us really ever party. I mean,
Never.
we
Yeah, never.
literally never party.
And but like, unfortunately too, like
Being
social.
in Miami, that's actually a really great accomplishment.
Yeah, we'd never go out. I don't
Right.
even remember the last time I was out.
But
That goes
living
back to the
here-
whole success thing. You know, success thing is that, you know, if you're in Miami, you know how to party without actually partying,
Yeah.
you'll do very well.
Because you can network.
Yeah,
Because you're going to meet a
exactly.
great,
People
you're going to
literally
meet a great group of people.
lose their lives.
Oh, I've
Oh,
lost.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had people lost far more than their lives, but yeah. If you could.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's tough, but showing that process is something that I'm gonna be working on moving forward, right? So I don't want to leave people hanging. I don't want to just, you know, work is definitely consuming us. We've also talked about this too. We want to be more outbound. We want to enjoy life a little bit
Nice.
more.
Yeah, I will say that about 2019.
Yeah.
Like that was one thing that I really wanted to put, you know, in perspective for myself was enjoying things a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, being a little bit more present. Last year, I had like a little goal to do a little bit of like traveling. I get really I get some anxiety when I leave for more than like 4 days because I'm so used to my routine, getting up, doing my thing, being productive.
Yeah, and
But I, you know, this year though, I really, you know, last year I did a little bit of traveling. You know, it was all in you know, in the country. It wasn't. I didn't travel outside of the country. So, but you know, going to Colorado was great. It was really a nice trip. Doing these things, experiencing things, going on road trips, those were really great. But this year, I really want to take it to the next level because, you know, one of the things you got to always take care of is your mental health. You know what I mean, dude? Like, sometimes I just came back from Orlando from working with my partners, and we did 6 days, 18, 22-hour days. I mean, nonstop. I was getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep at a time. And building out a lot of infrastructure, you know, and I came back home and I was fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like I was dead for like 2 days.
yeah,
I got
And
you.
it's just not a good look. You know, you really gotta pace yourself. And I don't think that means not working. It's just finding that time to keep yourself mentally healthy, keep yourself physically healthy, working out, making the time. And I think being more conscious of that going into 2019, it's already started to help me. I've been doing it a
so we're
lot more.
definitely going in a little bit off of a tangent, but it's all good. But to build off what Sergio said as far as really working on different things and seeing how you guys can pretty much build yourself, like to pretty much close, what is new, what's going to be new for you guys right now? What are you going to be working on? Like, what is like the next big thing you guys are pretty much
Shit.
for individually? Maybe not just
Rob knows I'm happy as
not necessarily
right now.
like, you know, partner wise, but it can also be personal too. You know what I'm saying? So we'll start with Caulen.
So I'm really excited. 2019, you know, it looks promising. You know, I'm doing some really cool things, some really exciting things in the lead generation space. You know, we're taking a couple of approaches that nobody in our space I think has really done. Really focusing heavy on digital marketing and bringing that full surface into, you know, kind of where that entire industry is going. So I think we're going to disrupt pretty well, and our partners are, you know, they're really, really supportive. So I'm really excited about that. That's been the project that I've been working on. I'm also really excited with Almond Pro. You know, I think with Almond Pro, it's been one of those rides where it's been a true journey, because this year we're really going full steam on digital marketing. We don't do any distribution. All of our sales are generated online, and we use really heavy amounts of digital marketing to build a brand. And the efforts that we put in, the acquisition strategies that we put in 2018, I think they're going to really come around in 2019.
Nice, congrats.
And yeah, you know, I think it's going to be a good year. Things are good.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna let Rob take the more brand connect approach here and where that's going, because it's multifaceted and he's leading this charge. So I'll let him run with that. I'll run with the personal thing. You know, aside from being more social, creating a foundation down here, those are personal goals of mine, right? I've traveled nonstop for 2 years, literally. Like, I've been without a home for 2 years, it feels like. So kind of creating that sense of home here is important to me. And then I really want to be impactful. I mentor, you know, dozens of people at all walks of life. And I've been trying to think about how I can take that impact and you know, instead of just being the interpersonal one-to-one kneecap to kneecap kind of relationship and kind of get out there in a meaningful way. And one way I'm kind of working with somebody right now to piece this together is write a book, right? And the high and low of it is I honestly feel like everyone has their own personal algorithm, right? Algorithm's a buzzword these days, and most people apply it to tech. And you know, I do too. So a lot of our livelihoods and day-to-days, it's based around tech. And I think it's disrupting, you know, a lot of people's happiness and routine and health. And even in their way they're consuming information and data. Like we talked about it even with politics before, not to get into it, but everyone's consuming and they're taking what they're being given. They're not going out. They're not thinking critically. So my goal is to write a book, and I'm partnering with someone on it, you know, use short quotes, excerpts, scholarly articles, and kind of help people rewire their personal algorithms. So they're not just waking up in the morning looking at social, going to their 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, living for the weekends and being on that hamster wheel, challenging the way they think, challenging the way they're consuming information, get them outside of their comfort zone, get them outside of the house. And I'm going to do so in a really creative way, and more to come on that. But that is a personal goal of mine because I really seek to be impactful. That's
super
important
dope.
to me.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
Rob?
On a personal side, you know, my goal for this year is pretty simple. Like, you know, Sergio said, make an impact, you know, build something larger than just a company. You know, what we're doing here today, the fact that we can all get together means a lot to me. You know, it's because, you know, we connected with you, we connected with Caulen, obviously, you know, me and Sergio, we connected, whatever, but
I don't like this motherfucker.
Yeah, but you know, being able to connect people, you know, a lot of the reason behind Brand Connect was to connect people and to be able to have this type of lifestyle. So that's definitely, you know, a goal of mine is to continue to be able to connect people, and then more on, you know, enjoying my life a little bit more. Like Caulen said, you know, I work way too hard to, you know, not enjoy my life as much as I have. And it's because we kind of get addicted to the work, you know.
You love to hate
straight
it.
up. I love the hustle.
It's so important
Love
to
to
just
hate
have work-life balance at the end of the day.
It is. It
We
is.
have none of that, right?
And we have none of that, you know. But it's okay because I love what I do.
But yeah, I was gonna say sometimes it's like work isn't even work though. I mean, it
Yeah.
really isn't.
Yeah,
Like,
true,
like when we're up here on that
exactly.
night that I was telling you about, we were all up here. I mean, I was happy to come up here and just bust open the laptop, go over, you know, go.
Yeah,
over
you know, it's not
all the
work.
things
I'm not sitting
working
in a
on.
cubicle. You know, we don't have bosses at the end of the day, so it's like, you know, we work on our own time, however we want. So that's more of my personal goals. Now, for Brand Connect, very excited for 2019. We have a ton of opportunity in a ton of different areas, to be honest. Launching some new brands of our own is going to be a major step forward for us. We're working on a few different things. I won't get into too much detail, but you know, involved in the fitness, supplements, clothing.
Nice.
You know, me and Sergio have been working on a few different, you know, side projects of getting, you know, some pretty cool people together to create some pretty dope content. And, so stay tuned for that, definitely. But, I'm really excited to see everyone, again, meshing together and being able to build Brand Connect together. So, I'm excited about these projects, and again,
That's all you're gonna give them?
No.
Honestly,
that's gonna be for different.
Yeah,
podcasts.
it'll be for a different day. But
That'll be for the 2019 recap podcast.
yeah, because you know what it is. It's like I worked all 2018 on restructuring. It's been 1 year since Brand Connect has been
Congrats, man.
incorporated. Thank you. Thank you. So I actually saw that on LinkedIn. I thought it was funny. I was like, wait, I have a work anniversary, and I realized I've had my company for a year.
I can't even believe it's been a year.
So yeah,
Time flies by.
Exactly, and it's what, it's gone by too fast. And Brand Connect is it was restructured in 2018. I kept quiet. I was, really behind the scenes hustling and grinding. And 2019 is our chance to speak up and to let people know who we are and what we've been working on. And I'm trying to come out the gate hot. So I'll leave you with that, and we'll get to we'll get to what we're doing a little bit. But yeah, I'm very excited for 2019.
Guys, man, this has definitely been an amazing experience. I can
Thank
talk to you guys for hours and hours, but definitely ran out of time. Appreciate everybody, man. Thank you for listening. All right.
Appreciate
you,
It's the
bro.
lab.